Oakley dokley, good evening, heroes and heroines, and welcome to Practising Programming in C, subtitled Compression-Oriented Templating. And a very special hello to Simpalaxy and to Jessie, both of whom are quick off the market. Yeah, we're up to, we finished all the config stuff, the config printing and the config documentation stuff. So the config printing looks like this, right? I'll just show that. So this is the config file that we're talking about. We've written the stuff in here, and this over on the other side is the actual resolution of the config. Basically, the point of this really is just so that people can write the configuration, and then they can actually see what it will actually get resolved to. Because you've got stuff like, for example, this HTML here, this contains a bunch of variables. So it's got the home variable, it's got the owner variable, it's got the product variable. Okay, so that is actually going to get resolved to this. It gets resolved to, there's my home. The, what's the next thing? So yeah, then the owner gets resolved to this, and then we've got risky, and then finally reader gets resolved to that. And there's also another one. Do we use the lineage anywhere? It's interesting, so we don't use the lineage for some reason. Oh, we use it up in the base URL. Okay, so that's used in here then, right? So yeah, if you put this, you get this information, then home. Right, so that gets resolved to that. Finally, the lineage gets resolved to all of this information. So it's just a way to show people what things actually get resolved to once it's passed, obviously. So that's that. Another thing it also supports is like changing things. So if we just change this to be that, we should see that this title changes. If I actually let that happen. Right, so that just changes while the program's running. So that's all that. And then the thing we did yesterday was the help text. So that's basically all this. It tells people how to run it with the flags. It tells people how to assign values. This is the syntax, and then it kind of like talks about all the stuff, all the identifiers and things. And I think actually throughout here, I actually talk about the scope IDs, I think. Let me just have a look. Yeah, product IDs, the ID of the product branch. Now, I think I don't actually use that term anywhere. What I really need to be doing here unless it's enough. I was sort of thinking that I should use the term ID up here so people know that that's what I'm talking about. Identifier is equal to a string. Yeah, maybe I won't actually. Maybe I'll just leave that as it is. Yeah, and just hope that people actually understand that when you write the ID of a person, that they just understand that it's this thing down here. person, yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully also the defaults give a clue as to what's going on. Yeah. But anyway, that's where we're up to. And what we're doing today, I think we're going to set that the help text and the printing aside. Is this similar with the end of a pricing privacy journey right of definition? We're almost there, actually, yeah. The one thing we do need to finish, we do need to clean up the actual code. So there's stuff throughout the code. I've got a bunch of, break here's. I've got a few of those just littered about the place that I had while I was testing. So basically I need to clean out that garbage. Probably have to go through looking at to-dos as well. Yeah, but the thing that we're doing today is templating. And that's basically just making use of the fact that we now can actually handle multiple projects per Cinera instance. So let's just have a look at the config that we've actually got. So the templates directory is here. Let's just pull up this template. So it's going to be at git. So that's saying index template underscore risky, is it? Does that exist? That doesn't exist, even. That's interesting. Is that the right path? Cinera guide, oh, it's the wrong path. Cinera guide. Dot risky. That's what I actually want. Right, there we go. So, let's open this, and let's also open the reader one. And hopefully this will illustrate what I'm trying to talk about. So yeah, what do we have going on here? We've got this navigation. Okay. I think all of this stuff up here is yeah, this is identical over this side. This thing here, well, actually, even that's the same. Just have a look at what we're actually talking about here, because this has been generated. We're going to be missing the CSS, so we'll have to ignore some stuff that looks a bit weird. Where are we outputting this to? We're outputting it to here, apparently. Yeah, this is what I was expecting. So why didn't that look? What was the previous thing? The previous thing was test risky index. Yeah, I guess we don't have a template for the risky project. The top level risky, that's what we don't have. So I think this one we do have. Yeah, okay. So you just have to ignore the crazy sort of busted style, because we just don't have the CSS file around. I mean, we could sort of configure it in, but I'm not going to bother really. So this is generated from this file over here. Yeah, one thing that is different between these two actually is this line here. So this this thing here, the way they actually write out risky business is kind of special. I think, do we get it? Well, we kind of don't get it. But if I look at the yeah, I will. Let me just get that open. So I can just show you what that actually looks like. Hope they don't run out of memory here, because QBars is a very memory intensive program. So this is how risky business ends up getting written. Right. It kind of has this colour over here. It's got this colour over here, and there is a space between them, but it's actually styled out, if you know what I mean. But everybody else is like just written differently. They're just different fonts, but I think they all use the same kind of formulation, I think. Let's just see if that's true actually. In fact, I'll open it over here. So we've got reader, let's get risk, the riscalaneous one. So yeah, you set the class to be the product ID, which will be risk, and then you've got the product name. That is the same between risk and reader, right? So even though they end up looking different, that's because the styles are actually set to be different things. But the risky business is a special case because we've got this situation and we currently don't have a way to configure that. So I think we're going to have to add a configuration identifier, which will be basically like a HTML title. So like, you know, like you've got the title here. I'm probably going to need to have like another setting that's like HTML title, and for the risky business project you would set that to be this information here. Just get it right. That'll be essentially this, right? And then the other thing is this. So we have all this information here, and we need to have separate ones for each thing, because we set the current differently. That's the only difference. And all that does is it just makes them look different basically. So this has got the thing that it kind of follows on from the whole, you know, the background of this kind of tab thing follows on from the background of all this. That's basically all that allows that to do. And we didn't have a way to actually do that previously because we didn't know like who everyone was basically. So that's basically what we're trying to do. We're trying to make a tag that basically probably allows us to do all of this really. Yeah, that's probably what we want to do. So you got your nav, and then you do this. I wonder if yeah, it's going to have to be different actually. And I do think we're going to have to do it as like a list really. So let me just mock this up. Let's get this out of here. And let's just say that we're talking about mock. Let's just where are we? We're here. Let's just save this as mock.html. And then let's make this into an unordered list. Then we're going to have the list item for the book. And then within this list item, you actually do another list. So you do like another list. Close that list item, then you close the other list item also. Is that right? No, you close the unordered list, I think is what you do. And then you finally close that list item. I think that's how that works. I'll do this. I think that's how that goes. So let's just see what that looks like. Where is this actually? So it's right, yeah. Home mat, git, Cinera, and then mat.html. So yeah, it's produced this. Yeah, that is right actually. Except, I think I'm going to rename. I don't need, actually let's use the actual names that we configured. So you got your risky business, your book club, reader. So basically we want to try and produce, try and style this in a similar way. Where's it getting its HTML from? Oh right, yeah, it's not even generated, so none of this is actually going to actually have anything useful, which is unfortunate. What does that resolve to? Oh yeah, it just uses the actual comment style thing. Fine. So the Cinera CSS main. Yeah. So we've got this, we don't actually have. Yeah, I do also think that we need to keep this stuff separate, you know, so you just got the hierarchy in one tag, and then you can put whatever you want within the navigation thing. So I think it would be a case of setting the style of this thing, really. Something like that. And probably also that. Yeah, so it's Cinera nav, but it's also, I think we're going to have two different, possibly even three different types of treeing actually. So we've got the handmade hero one, which looks like this, right? It's basically like a fold down list. you got this style, you've got the risky business style, which I've already kind of shown, and you've got the handmade network style. Use bitwise just for the fun of it. Yeah, although that's not very instructive, because there's only one item. Right, we've got this style. And how they do that? No idea. Also have a look at these. How am I doing it? Also have a look at these. See how they look. So all they're saying is this the inside thing? Yeah, so it's just an unordered list item. So it's the same deal. They want to strongify the code one to indicate that that's a thing. Yeah, okay. I mean, this isn't going to actually say code. When I generate it, it's going to say handmade hero. But yeah, it's essentially going to be this, isn't it? Let's get the risky one. So we're dealing with the same sort of information. Okay, so yeah. I think it's still going to be a Cinera nav. I think it's still fine to do this, and people can do what they like. You know, they can set this style to whatever they fancy, color-wise. But the Cinera nav itself would be styled. We give them the structure of it. But yeah, we could end up with like Cinera nav, sort of yeah, unless we do it all in one thing actually. Cinera nav vertical. Cinera nav vertical, Cinera nav drop down, and Cinera nav horizontal. Right, that's probably what we want. It's at the master file now, yeah. You need to make a drop down UI thing. What's my favourite drop down menu? Blimey. I mean, I do kind of like this actually. The only annoying thing about it, I mean, it happens like if you're on the actual if you're on here and you're kind of coming down, you move your mouse past here, right? You get the menu coming in. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I might like to add just a tiny delay, just so it's enough for people to be able to get past there without because you might want to go, for example, straight to the query, but but you get caught by the menu. But I do like things that don't require so many. Well, it's like sort of pinpoint accuracy, basically. It's like, and where you have to like interact so often. So like I wouldn't be so keen on. You have to come down here, and then click to open it up. You can click to close it, and open it. But I like the fact that it kind of opens automatically. And then you got these things. Gosh, have we got any examples of like? Yeah. We've got examples of other drop-down menus. I mean, you've got the ones that are like. Does Wikipedia have these? No. Gosh, who could have these? Basically the ones that they've got each item, and if the item could be opened up, so they're basically listed down here, so it's like this. The list is like this, and then if a thing can be opened up, it's got like an arrow, and you can click a bit of it, and it sort of opens up the menu. You got that style, haven't you? Do these guys have anything like that? Yeah, I mean, this is a kind of a drop-down menu, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, for me, I'd probably have this where it open when you hover. I mean, I do that all over the place, actually, opening on hover. Right, all of these just open on hover. They don't actually close on click, though, which I probably should do. Except for the fact that this is a clickable and it actually sets the thing, so I couldn't actually make that click to close. Because it would break this. I do actually need to make this center vertically, by the way. Well done, mate. That's true, yeah. I think I have a scroll bar on the references. Like if you got something with a lot of references. Well, I don't know where that would go to. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I do like that. All of those ones actually, they're only like flat menus. Like I don't know exactly actually how I would do this style if you've got a tree. I mean, I guess you just show, well, you just show all the items, wouldn't you? So it'd be like this. Actually, yeah, it might be. So just imagine that you got risky business, book club, and then underneath book club, you could have like the left-hand side is computer organization design, and the right-hand side is risk 5 reader, and then the next one down would be miscellaneous, the full width. That's maybe how you could do that. Just get the actual website back. Good. I think for this guy, I'm probably going to end up having Risk Emitters here, Miscellaneous over here, Book Club in the middle, spanning the two things, and then Computer Organization Design on the left, and Risk 5 Media on the right. And we're probably going to end up with all of these things being twice as high, basically. Apart from these. I hope that could look okay. And I think that's the thing I would like to try and style right now, actually. I'll try and style how this thing looks. So this is like the horizontal, basically. Yeah, but just give us 2 minutes. I'll be right back. So you're saying that hammered here title in that dropdown isn't centered. Take a look. Probably this guy. Is that right? Yeah, you're right. I think I did spot this. What is the reason for that now? Yeah, that's well spotted. Let's take a gander. So it's text align center. So they're all lined up the same. They're lined up differently. This padding, could that have anything to do with it? How does that look to you, Jesse? That looks kind of lined up to me now. So, yeah. If I actually say there's no padding on the left and the right, or I say that there is padding on the left and right for one of these people. Actually, you can do it in one go, can't you? Oh, so hang on a minute, there was padding, was there? What is that? Who is that? Yeah, that's not right. If there's no padding, yeah, if there's no padding, then it looks right. So they're saying that I need to do the padding just on the top and the bottom. I think that's right, isn't it? That at least makes those guys lined up. I think that's it, isn't it? Bang on. Yeah, okay. So that's coming from header nav div this. Which is probably in Hamodera's main style, as opposed to Cinera's style. But having said that, we're actually doing this, aren't we? We're actually trying to produce this style for Cinera. Just give us a second. I just want to get a, what do you call it? Forever Rocher. What's the other thing you said? How do you like our IC bridge? Where is the IC bridge? Is it the client who's raised Cinera's HTML party? Yeah, I don't need to use this because I've got WeChat. Much as I love Cinera's, you know, it's not a slight on him. I don't know if you spotted, by the way, Jesse, but I've actually got a bit of an idea for a completely different sort of communication medium. Listen, yeah. There's a bot in Discord, I think. I see. Oh, right. Yeah, I haven't looked at that. This is the thing up here that I'm referring to. And this down here is sort of is basically for a website, really. And I've actually got the domain for it. So that's for this, actually. I think that this list, this nested list thing is just this, exactly that. So yeah, this is going to be hopefully a website. But I'm also thinking for the communication platform. I don't think I've mentioned this in this list. But I'm sort of thinking of having the idea of basically what I'm calling lenses. Right. So if you imagine, you know when you're nostalgic and you sort of view things through rose-tinted glasses. Right, so you sort of see them as looking kind of nicer and more pleasant than they actually were. If you're looking at it through the rose-tinted glasses, you see it looking nice. If somebody else looks at this thing without looking at the rose-tinted glasses, they might remember the bad stuff and the not nice stuff. But they're both essentially looking at the same thing. Now, this idea of lenses is basically that, really. And I'm sort of thinking that this could be one of those lenses in this thing. So all that means is how it would work in practice would be, say like somebody writes a message onto this platform, and it's about anything really. If you're wearing this lens, if you turn this lens on, then you know, if any of this sort of applies to the message, to be concrete about it, we're talking here about, just take this, EU compatibility legislation. Could a piece of legislation passed in the UK's Parliament been legislated without having left the EU? So that's basically a yes/no answer. So that you do a message that is about a piece of legislation that has been passed. If you're wearing this lens, it could automatically say within the message, along with the actual message, it would say whether it's compatible with the EU, basically. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, you can wear this lens and you'll get the information. But if you're not interested in that sort of thing, like for example you, like I don't think you would necessarily care about a piece of legislation being compatible with the EU as somebody who lives in the States. So you wouldn't bother to wear this lens and you just see the message. Yeah. That's basically it, yeah, just a filter. But what I would say is it's kind of like the opposite of a filter. So whereas a filter sort of tends to take stuff out, it's kind of like an augmentation, kind of, if you want to call it that. Yeah, an augment, like in the like in sci-fi. Whitelist. Yeah. Yeah, it's additive as opposed to, yeah, to whitelist sort of say that everything's off by default, and if on the whitelist, then it gets turned on. Yeah, it's basically like that. So yeah, that's what that's going on about. So in fact, I should really just pull up an actual. I don't need that. Yeah, Casey does it all in line. So I don't want to do that. Let's get my own thing. Right. So here we go. I think if I just say mock.css, I think that could just work, couldn't it? Right, mock.css. I just make that file. Yeah, perfect. You do like it? Cool. Well, dude, listen. I'm sort of actually hoping to make it one of those things that multiple people work on. You know, because I've had my fix of sort of doing the old, this is my thing, with Cinera, and with other things, you know. But I think this communication platform would be one of those things that would be good to have multiple people working on it. Not least George actually likes test it out as well. So yeah, if you fancy it, it'd be cool to work with you on it. So yeah, we've got an unordered list with Cinera nav horizontal, I think. So we're trying to produce that thing, aren't we? That's how I made here. I think I want to get, let's get into that again. Look at how much RAM I'm using. This would be in line with the line height negotiated by the text selection. Ecologically. I think actually, now that I think about it, I'm just very wary that I'm getting close to the edge there. I think I should have. I should actually have the style on the thing. You know what they say? What more would I do 1 month? True, yeah, but I mean, if it works, it makes and it makes communication better. The idea is, this could be a generational innovation. So even if we take a year to do what one program would do in a month, that's fine. I kind of do, yeah. It's not quite touch typing, I don't think. I mean, yeah, I am on the home row, but yeah, I don't know that I do use the correct fingers. I certainly haven't really learned how to do it. I've just sort of fallen into kind of typing in the way that I type, I guess. What about you? Do you touch type properly? Advice from the future, yeah, exactly. Oops, it's not that. Where would it be actually? Actually, I think I put it in software. Source. No. Sorry. Git. Yeah, here's where I've ended up putting it for some reason. So that's the colour. Hang on. This is Cinera guide on risky TV. There's your images, there's your fonts. Surely I haven't done the entire style on the actual website, have I? Frustrating, really slow. Have you thought about doing, what do you call it? The Vorjak layout? Have you considered that? Because like if, if QWERTY is frustrating and slow, you might not really be at a particular advantage doing it on QWERTY, starting off on QWERTY, if you know what I mean. Normally you kind of just have your hands glide around the keyboard. Yeah, you're trying to way to it. Yeah, I mean H is there, isn't it? Yeah. Letters now hovering over A, V, and A. Oh, okay. You guys typing. Oh, I see. Sometimes H and O means like your left hand. Ah, yeah. So that's something I definitely don't do that. No, I do keep on the on the actual halves. So yeah, I guess maybe I glide sort of like vertically, but I don't glide like left and right quite as much, I guess. I'll tell you what, actually, when I type my surname, what I do is I do like M with the index finger of my right hand, obviously. I do, and I've got my, let me just have a look, let me just see, do it again. Yeah, so I'm sort of, you know, you usually have your index finger of the left hand on the F. I actually move it over to the D, and I do the A, S, and the C with like that, and that, right? And then I'm back with the A sitting there, up with the R and the E on those two fingers. And then I do the N and the H. I do that with the index finger, and then I kind of reach over with the middle, and then finally add the A and the S. So that's what I do with my surname. Pretty good, I'm sure that's what I do. Mind you, I guess technically, when you talk about sort of moving over with the left hand, well, actually, no, you could do it with the little finger, couldn't you? Oh, yeah, part of it is because you're also using your little finger for the shift. So that's going to be part of all of that. Because otherwise you could use your little finger for the A. But yeah, I'm gliding around like that. Trying to watch for half a day. Different sized keys of different heights. Oh, shit. What kind of keyboard have you got? Because mine definitely aren't different heights. Homer's weird. Is it? Typing pad is supposed to be always one finger. That's just ridiculous. I mean, yeah. Is that true? Like there's no scope for not doing it all with one finger. Crazy. Let's see if we can find this style though. CSS path. So it's saying temp Cinera handmade.network. Okay, I can buy that. No, it's not that. Well, whatever. Let's just get it from the flaming website. Because we know that that's got it. What is the point in looking for something that you already actually found? Right. So main.css. Can I just download it like this though? Unless, let me just double check. There is no existing CSS. Alright. I might actually just rename that to alright, here we go. Finally. Finally some action. There we go, that's a bit more like it. So we're missing some information, but that's probably fine. It's fonts that we're missing. We're missing the icon. That's also fine. What's going on down here? Oh, it's another bling. Yeah, I guess we don't have Cinera.css. So let's try and get these guys in. So yeah, that main.css is the thing that we just downloaded. Cinera risky. Cinera top. So yeah, these guys are different, and then the Cinera.css. So yeah, I think these guys will have been pulled in, but they would have been included in the Cinera includes. That's where they would have been. So yeah, just let that come from there. Where is it going to be? Got ducky keyboards, somebody one. Oh really? You don't? You need your numpad. Talked into getting one. First rule of Fight Club is don't get talked into anything. I wonder if that logo's come through actually. No, I don't think it has. That's... Oh, mind you, that's the open graph, isn't it? So what I need to be talking about is the actual thing. I've still got that open. Well, yeah, right. That's Cinera image logo. That would have been it. Alright, so that's come through there. And then this thing again. That's that. So for some reason, oh, it's going to have to be actually in the expected locations, isn't it? Basically, we're trying to end up with this page, aren't we? So with that being the case, why don't we just save this page? Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, this is actually reader's page, really. Well, that's probably what I wanted. Right, copy. Dink, dink, dink. I think that's what I want. Whoa. What's going on there? Am I still going? What's happening? Jesus, something weird happened there. Maybe I just ran out of memory. Somehow. Alright, so here we go, we're in business, I reckon. So what we're trying to do, we've got book of code, we're just going to explain this. Right. So let's just produce the actual thing that we're talking about. Right. So we've got risky. We're going to just do this a little bit again. So we've got an ordered list here. Oh yeah, you don't close the list item. Within the list item, you open another unordered list. Do a list item for that's about right. Close our list item. Close that list item, close this on a list, close this list item, and then find a list item for miscellaneous, and then close the unordered list. Yeah, right. So it's because we don't have this actual styling sorted out. That's the problem there. Which I guess kind of stands to reason, because that's what we're doing in this whole thing. That's the entire point of this. Actually, I'll tell you what, I might do. Can I do a separate nav? Just sticking this thing into that, or the nav. Could that be anywhere close to being good? Yeah, it can. So what I essentially want to do is to get this thing. I'll get the logo as well. So we've got this. We're trying to produce this sort of arrangement, except with this code. Yeah. Avoid Linux. Have I heard of Void Linux? I'm not sure if I have. I have heard of one called Clear Linux though, which I've sort of thought I might try and use. I think it's this one at least. Phoronix tests this particular one a fair bit. And it tends to come out as pretty performance. Yeah, so versus 10 distributions. 8, sorry. Yeah, so it's not CentOS. I've used this. Yeah, pretty sure it's Clear Linux. Just jump to the final page. Yeah, Clear Linux. It's first place in 37% of the tests. Yeah, it is that one that I was sort of thinking of using. So Manjaro is sort of Linux Arch based. So that gets first place in 2 tests, 4.1%. And it got last place in 11. So it's like almost as bad as Windows 10 Pro. Yeah, it's right down at the bottom actually, isn't it? Manjaro. And it got Windows down at the bottom, where less is worse. And then Ubuntu and then Manjaro. And yeah, Manjaro is closest to Arch, as I say. Right, interesting. Let's have a look at Void. Hang on a minute. Is this the one where you can have multiple versions of packages installed at the same time? Flavors. Gosh, what was that called? I remember James Widman mentioning a Linux distribution that allows you to have like multiple versions of software installed at the same time. I suppose I should put it another way. They have a good way of handling that, because obviously you can do whatever you like, can't you? Like you can install whatever versions you want wherever. But I guess the sort of the package manager actually handles that all for you. I don't think it was called Void Linux. I'll have to check with James sometime. Yeah, I might check that out. So, here we go. So what we're trying to modify is probably it's main.css, and we're trying to get a nav of class yeah, I reckon it would be this. So also, just while we're here, just make a note. Actually, if I made it, yeah, new template tags. So I'll just bring this all down to the bottom. So this is going to be right. We could have like one tag that takes parameters basically. So we've got horizontal, vertical, and drop down. Okay. It's the nav horizontal which we're trying to do at the moment. It's not on the nav actually, it's on the, so there, that's where we want it. So what do we have? I think we should use, I think we should be writing into the Cinera.css thing actually. So HTML do. Where are the assets? Shouldn't we be output? Oh, that's in the global settings. Okay. Right. So the assets reader that we're saying is this. Just see if these guys are actually there. CSS. Yeah, perfect. Temp Cinera. Yeah, and I think this, if I'm not mistaken, is just a symlink to the actual file. Yeah, so this is the file that will get published. It was last modified on December the 30th, 2017, believe it or not. Jesus Christ. Gosh, can that be right? My opinion on muscle. I don't think I've got one. I'm trying to remind myself what it is. It's a seat on library. Yeah, I don't have an opinion. Yeah, I've got no experience of it at all. Gen 2 is one of those things that can use that. WRT, I've heard of those. Oh, Void Linux is one of those things. I mean, it sounds like it's a worthwhile thing. Yeah, it does sound interesting. It claims compatibility. That was what I would like programs crashing, yeah. I would agree with you on that one, dude, yeah. I do not like programs crashing either. Yeah, I mean, reliability is the thing you want first of all, isn't it? So, right, let me just see what's what here. So HTML. We're talking about header nav A. Yeah, and this just assumes, doesn't it, that all of those things are going to be at that level. I feel like you paid me there, actually, dude. So header nav a logo. Yeah, I think that's the only code you need, actually. I think probably that's the colour. Yeah, so we've done the structure up there. If we pull this over to, do you want to just go for it? No, I'm going to just mock it up in here first, just so I don't make it completely hash brown of it. Right. So what we're essentially saying is we're going from this sort of situation to this sort of a situation. So header nav, flex row wrap. What if we just first of all say we're not going to talk about nav actually. We wanted to talk about UL with class Cinera horizontal nav. Yeah, it's getting the same thing, isn't it? Did we tell it to get mark? No. It's thrown off this now. Just thinking just for the near future. What I'm going to have is let's draw it out quickly. Wow, what's happened to all the tools? There needs to be more tools in this. What? What's going on here? You can scroll through things now, can you? Well, oakley dokley. Where's my pen? That's what I want. What's the pencil? What's the paintbrush roller? No, it doesn't really matter. Whatever. So what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to produce, so I'm just going to call them by the short name. So we've got risky over here. Right, we're going to have that. We're then going to have block over there, risk over here, coad. Right, so that's what I'm essentially aiming to produce, except using the full names. So that's our design doc. So how do we produce this? From this. Oh, that was the thing I was trying to actually illustrate. So that's what we're producing, right. The thing that crossed my mind was, when you're looking at, when book is the current one, so, right, when you're looking at this, risky business, risky business is the current one, right, which means that the background becomes basically transparent. There's no colour in the background, there's no border, basically, is what that means. Now, when you come to this, and book is obviously when co-add and reader, when they're the current one, it just works the same way, right? You just don't show that bottom thing, and the background is transparent. But if book is the current one, how do you actually show that that is the thing that's current? And I think what you just do is you just say that everybody's lines, everybody's borders are just gone, and the whole background just becomes transparent. I think that's what you just do. Because I think it would just look a bit weird if you end up just making book transparent and these two are sitting there in the middle of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Because the whole point of this is to make it look like it's actually a continuation of the actual page. Tell you what, actually, speaking of art, I was watching The Crown, which is a drama on Netflix about, it's basically about Queen Elizabeth, really, and the surrounding sort of royal family and Parliament. It's a dramatisation, yeah. And yesterday's episode had Winston Churchill having his portrait painted for his 80th birthday. So yeah, we sort of saw that getting produced, and he didn't like it. He absolutely hated the final portrait. His wife hated it as well, and in real life and in the programme they actually destroyed it. painting by Graham Sutherland. It's this. It's painting. So I guess I assume that is actually a legit photograph of the actual artwork, but yeah, the real thing was actually destroyed. Yeah, but it's quite amazing that program. If you've got Netflix, I do recommend the Crown. I'm not a massive monarchist, really. Not particularly bothered about the monarchy as an institution, but this program is sort of essentially it's just about real people. Good thing about it, yeah. Yeah, as a drama, it's really great. Lots of yeah. I want to say it's very hefty drama, if you know what I mean. Like you really feel the sort of weight of the institutions and the sheer sort of amount of tradition and stuff in it. Okay, so let's see. How can we do this? So we've got some video, display flex, let's row. Yeah, it's all the colours. That's what's going with the current. It's only talking about the colours. Yeah, so let's get the structure first. Don't think we've got that right yet. No, we haven't, because I want these guys to be adjacent and not that size either. So yeah, we've got the UL, Cinera, nav horizontal. That might be the easiest way to do that. Don't ask me why they're completely misaligned, by the way. So yeah. Padding is 0, I think that's one of our problems. I mean, where's this garbage coming from? And that, and that. Well, actually, might be able to use some of this. they're saying that the nav, so the header nav, everything below that has padding 8, border left of that. Header nav, UL. It's basically everything up to an A, isn't it, really? So if within here, so that's just that, isn't it? I mean, is it just that? I just keep changing that. Now, yeah, the logo is a different deal, isn't it? Right, we can't know about the logo. I mean, unless we could actually. Yeah, I mean, you could make us know about the logo, and we actually produce that. And what could be the options with that? I mean, it's really just you put the logo on the left hand side, isn't it? But then where's it actually pointing to? Yeah, I guess maybe let's leave it out. Yeah, let's work around the logo. So people have to see the logo themselves, and they have to say where the logo actually links to, if they want it to link to somewhere. Yeah, let's keep that out of our the stuff that we're bothering with. And they're taking that from somewhere else, aren't they? So does that help with the structure at all? That's amazing. So that's saying, oh, it's saying that everything, I see. So yeah, what I was actually trying to target, sorry, I was going to say this, wasn't I? I think. Or is it just that? So I think it cascades down, so hopefully that'll hit every A. So I think apparently the risky is the current one, hence the style not, the hover style not applying. font size 0. So yeah, that's to do with the special risky business typography. That's to do with this. Right, see that you get a space between those two words now. I think there's a limit to how big a space can be. But that's essentially how I do that. We're setting that font size to 0. Oh, I know. 150% means that every time you descend, right, you bump up the size. I think that's what that means. So if I just fix this to be something, I think that should make all the sizes the same. Yeah, it does. Which is what I actually want. You don't want that to be progressively getting larger as you go down. So yeah, I want this to be 100% of the width. Seriously? Like, I just want to get this guy open. There we go. Stretch value such as the flex items to fill the container. This is default. So okay. So we're trying to fill the container. So the container is the UL. We're saying that it's flex row wrap, margin bar not, padding 0. Now it was covering the full width, wasn't it? Until I made one change. Just the font size, wasn't it? Oh, it wasn't full width actually. Okay, fine. So let's sort that out. Head and nav. I guess arguably you could sort of say that it doesn't necessarily have to be the full width, and that the width thing can be a product of this. let's see what we're dealing with. We can't just say that the width is 100%. That's what I'm talking about. But the thing is, I actually want to make the icon be part of it, so I can't, as I'm saying, I can't do that for this. It would have to be for this. Right. Now, I've set width as 100% for that. But it's not been bothered. Has any of this actually taken effect? Header nav. Flex grow. Oh, how about this? So that's done exactly what I want, apart from the fact that it hasn't actually put these guys in sensible places, which kind of suggests that you do it here, doesn't it? Interesting. Doesn't fancy it. So what is its problem? It's just one of those things where you're sort of scrambling around in the dark, honestly, with CSS. So yeah, you can just get a little bit frustrated. This is a flex container. So this is covering the entire width, right? That's covering that. This is covering the entire width. This isn't, I guess the list item might be the thing that you need to actually talk about. I think what I usually do is to colorize these people so I can tell what's what. Well, background color actually is what I want. So there's no R because that's covered by the entire thing. Yes, you can't see that. You can't see the red. The nav is the thing that's covered. Yeah, so what I'm saying is, well, so the header nav, I think it's a flex, isn't it? Right, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's exactly what I want. Finally. So, now, like, why is that so crazily laid out? What we're talking about there is these guys. I think, is that our problem? The first child situation. Well, that has changed something. I think you want to say all the ULs within this also get the stuff applied. I'm not exactly sure what that was supposed to be doing, actually. They're saying the border, the border left is supposed to be not set. Can't see any change there. So yeah, right. We've got this there, this there. We're saying that this is actually supposed to be the full width. So what we're talking about, the blue thing is the A. Yeah, right. So actually we want the A actually to be the thing that is growing, which is supposed to be doing. Oh, hang on. No, it wouldn't. That would be right, would it? No. So border left. Nope. Just wondering if that was it because it'd been the first child. I mean, literally all I'm trying to do here, all I'm trying to do is to produce like a grid that's like binary partitioned, basically. So, right, you've got your top level unordered list here. You've got one item on the left. You've then got an item next to it, and beneath this item you want to be having items next to each other there. Right, which is what we've more or less got. But where's all of this space coming from? This is saying that this flex item is all of that. List item, yeah, that is fair to have that list item containing all of that, I think. What could be contributing to it? I mean, the padding could be contributing. Yeah, I guess let's set the padding to be 0. Start that for 0 also. And those are the 3 things that we can be talking about. So yeah, this has got this. I think somebody's getting a board from somewhere. Header nav. I mean, are we just inheriting it from this? That's made absolutely no difference, has it? Should I now have done something? That might actually not be very visible, honestly. Shouldn't one of these be that, though? We're talking about header nav. Are we? Yeah, I suppose it gets robbed off by that. I mean, there could be someone elsewhere actually who's touching that colour. But surely the structure isn't being touched by anyone other than us. I mean, especially for this. I mean, we could totally see that, can't we? Like if we just do this. So mock.css is giving us that. Main.css is wanting to touch this. Oh shit, right, yeah. I guess I should stop it from looking at that file actually, shouldn't I? Yeah, that's probably getting our way. Alright, so that's out of the picture, thankfully. So with that being the case, still no dice. It's this I'm sort of talking about, by the way. Right, so that is a magenta colour. Sorry, it's the background colour is what I'm talking about. Aren't I? Yeah, background colour. So the header nav, some item. Definitely written it. Finally, so that's applied to something. So we've got the header nav, get some magenta colour. Right, perfect. But what's that actually helped us to do? Well, it's established that those things are different things, isn't it? Right, it's the A that I want to be making bigger, right? So that when you're hovering around, you've got the entire thing to be clicking on, right? Which means that this should be happening flex grow, I imagine. Right, so that's kind of like what I'm talking about. But I want Is there some margin coming from somewhere? Margin bottom. Well, we then later set that to that, so shouldn't that take effect? So we've got blue. Flex grow, so that should be growing. The green is also growing. So what I'm trying to do here is to try and eliminate these bits of green here. Yeah, we're also getting the green. We're getting the green all the way across. So the green is signifying a list item, isn't it? Yeah. So is it just a HTML mistake? That's a list item, which is talking about this. I think what is that exactly? That is talking about that, is it? So that's the list items opening the book up. This thing wants to stretch. But then the trouble is, within the book, we're going to be opening up another unordered list. Yeah, you can sort of see actually, can't you? We're getting progressively more unfilled stuff happening there. So where's that coming from? Yeah, it sort of seems like each list item within an ordered list. We're missing out some information. I'm going to simplify this even further, actually. So all we have, well, it's literally just the nav mockup. That's all we've got. Hopefully the whole page should look a mess, apart from our friend here. So we've got it all blue now. I think that's more like what I would have expected, right? All blue, which means that the whole thing is covering the actual area. Which is making more sense to me. Just remove these guys. And, I mean, what if this could even be, okay now. So yeah, it's not quite, text wants to be centered. So we've got a red thing here, and then here so we've got some green creeping in. So basically what I want to do is have book club actually spanning its thing. So yeah, it's essentially like the list item that contains an unordered list will be treated differently from a list item that doesn't contain an unordered list. Is that right? So we want to say what would be the difference there? It always seems like you want to see the direction, doesn't it? Except you do want row. The thing is you want to be able to say, oh shit, hang on a minute, does Flexbox not even support this, I wonder? That would be awkward if it doesn't. Because what I basically want to be doing, if we refer to the artwork, right, if I was doing it in my own thing, I'd have to say, for each item, does this have any children? No. Go through to the next child. So we've got the root scope, or the tree. Go in for each product in the tree. Does this have any children? No. Does this have any children? Yes. It's got 2 children, right? Which means that we need to know that there are 2 generations to consider. So we need to fit 2 generations worth of stuff into this thing. And then you go over its children. Does this have any children? No. Does this have any children? No, either. Then I go on to the next child. Does this have any children? No. So we know that you only want 2 generations worth of children to actually print, which means that you know that this needs to populate the height of 2 children. This, because it does have a child, you need to then go into this thing and say, I think again you would need to say, I mean I guess on the first pass you would just sort of figure out, you would record the entire generation for this person, so you'd know in advance. You'd compute the fact that this only has 1 generation below it. So you've got yourself and 1 other generation. So that means that you want to be populating the space of half the total for this, height-wise, but width-wise you want to be populating it a third of the width, because you know that there are 3 top-level people. So you draw that, and then you draw this as half of that third, and this is half of that third on the right hand side. And then you finally draw this as the other third. So in a flexbox scenario, we're saying that this whole thing is a flexbox. We're wanting to say that the direction is column. Sorry, we want to say that the direction is row, actually, isn't it? Yeah, row wrap. So we're going this direction. We're always going in this direction. But once we see somebody who's got children, we need to switch to column wise. Don't we? Isn't that what you want to do? Which kind of suggests that yeah, how on earth do you do that? How on earth do you tell it that you want to do that? Because you can't say for the top, you can't say for the top level that the direction is row, while at the same time that for some things you want the direction to be column. Can you? Well, this. because I mean also the direction of this guy, this is the parent of these two, and you want the direction of these two to be row. So all you want to be saying really is that upon encountering this, right, this is referred to by this. Upon encountering this, before you actually do any list items, you actually have to switch into column mode. Let's just have a look online. I think I might just call it a day, by the way, in a second. Let's just see. So I want to do like a binary space partition in Flex. Well, that doesn't look at all helpful. I mean, is it a binary space partition? I mean, is that a good description of it even? Yeah, I could buy this, that this is what I actually want, except the other way around. So how do they do it? Flex column. Shouldn't this area set flex to row at some point? So the fixing these two to a particular width, this guy can flex completely. Maybe flex row is the default. Holy shit. That's all I wanted. Yeah, that is it, isn't it? Obviously, apart from the fact that I want this to actually contain the whole thing. The green is coming from the list item. So under the list, a list item. Somebody needs to say Well, everybody's saying flex grow, aren't they? What were they saying though? They were like flex just on its own, weren't they? Obviously I want to also align this in the center. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it there. We've only done a couple about 2.5 hours. But I think basically what we've been doing today, just getting back into the swing of thinking about sort of HTML and CSS sorts of stuff. So hopefully we can go away, get some inspiration, and come back another time to continue. And the next stream session will probably not be tomorrow or Saturday or Sunday either. Possibly even Monday. We'll see how Handmade Hero goes. See when Casey uploads Handmade Hero, next Handmade Hero. If it's up in time for Monday, then I will be indexing that on Monday. Otherwise, I might do the next session of programming on Monday. So yeah, thank you very much, heroes and heroines, for being here, for being beautiful, and most of all, for being good things. Until next time, for now.